thank you very much once again for joining us. It is James here from Lockdown. I know I'm trying something a bit different. I'm trying to use the audio quality of my phone rather than my headphones, so hopefully when this all comes together and I send it out properly live after the fact, the video quality is a little bit better. So just got a couple of things to try and set up first, and then I will come back to you. If you are in here, please do not be shy, say hello, say hi. My name is James, this is Lockdown Number 18. It's pallet wood, lovely stuff. Yeah, possibly. It's possibly something we might do later on. Get this sanded. Yeah, we'll take the nails out first then. We'll do that as well today. Hello, welcome in once again. You know what, I am going to switch back to my headphones so you can hear me talking as I'm over in the garage. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. How are we all? Are we well? I'm very well, thank you very much for asking. How are you? Also, whereabouts are we calling in from? Because I know I do sometimes put people to bed and do wake them up, so let us know whereabouts you're calling it in from. I do get you guys up all over the place. So let us know where you're from. Drop down in the comments whereabouts you're talking in from. And I will update you in a second what we're going to be up to today. So today's plan for those who have just joined us, who've never been here before, I'm glad you just asked. So the last few videos, or the last few lives, if you've never been here before, what we do is we turn bits of old pallet wood into new things. So what we did in the last previous episodes is we turned pallet wood into strips like this, and then from this, we then turned them into longer boards, and then we turn them into these. So what we're going to do is I've made marks on the sides that do need sanding down. So we're going to be making coasters. So eventually, the plan is, they'll eventually turn out looking like these. yeah, this sort of stuff. Okay. So that is the plan. However, I have just got myself a little bit distracted. Will you have, what's that at the end? Will you have what? I have got a little bit distracted. So what I also want to do is I bought these from a charity shop ages ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into segments. I'm thinking cut maybe this end, so then I've got this, and then that will turn into a coat hook. Can you create something like what? What would you like us to make? Because maybe it's like a sword. I don't know how good a wooden sword would be, if I'm honest. If I was in battle, I wouldn't really trust a wooden sword, if I'm honest, but I can't see it being undoable, I suppose. Oh, okay, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not really a Minecraft sort of a guy, but I reckon it shouldn't be too difficult, to be honest, especially if it's all made out of blocks. Okay, we'll probably end up cutting that off anyway. Lovely. Right, so that's set, that's ready. What is your best creation you've made? I think my coffee table that's currently in my house is quite a good one. Coffee table that I made for a customer. These are all videos that you probably can find on around on my channel. I've made all sorts. As you can tell, lockdown lumber, it all stemmed from within the confines of COVID during lockdowns and stuff. So I did lots of stuff when I first began, like planters and storage units for preschools, all from using broken down pallets. And then that all stemmed onto other different bits and bobs. And then, yeah, so obviously the coasters you've seen. Let's have a see what else we got. Larger, like charcuterie boards as well. Make them as well. All out of pallet wood. Let's have a see. What else we got? Oh, here's another one. Little chopping boards. Make these as well. And then we also do a little bit of like pallet wood art as well. So let me just take it down. So like this sort of thing. All made from all made from pallet wood. It's alright, isn't it? So yeah, hope that answers that question. So you let me know from everything I've just shown you, what do you think? Plus you'll also have to go back on my YouTube channel to have a see what other stuff we've made as well. So what I'm going to do first, don't know whether I can bother getting the big saw out just to do essentially 3 cuts. My best tool. It depends. It all depends upon the source. It all depends upon what I'm trying to create at the time, because I do use my sander a lot, but I don't think I can say my sander. My table saw's pretty decent. My chop saw's pretty decent. My favourite ones are probably these. I know they don't look like much to you. However, these are what kind of started the journey as such. These were donated to me from my grandma when my granddad passed away. So these are my granddad's old hammers and tools. So I know they won't mean much to you, but to me, they mean quite a lot. Do you know what? I might just hand cut them. Why not? Thank you. Well, to me, yes, he was. So today, what we're going to be working on right now, I'm going to. It's all right. Don't apologise. He's gone, but the memory's always there. And he was, a massive inspiration to me when I was growing up. So what I'm going to be making now is I'm just going to be cutting this up into a couple of sections. Just so then I can make a couple of coat hangers. I've wanted to turn this wood into something for ages, and I found some bits and bobs within the garage that would make a lot of sense doing so. So bear with me 1 second just for us to get this all cut up. Here's the big one.
Can I just ask? You've just said about wearing safety glasses. What circumstance did I use using a handsaw then would require me to use safety glasses? What could happen? Just out of interest. Wood splinters from a handsaw at a slow pace. I'd get it if I was using a big saw. That might be more of a consideration, something that's running at 1,000 RPM. But my arm, not that I'm every day's a learning day. I just don't see how. Well, thank you very much for looking out for me. It's much appreciated. I'm glad someone is. But I personally wouldn't see the reason for that. When I'm only doing something as non-strenuous as that. So, I don't go to the gym. Fuck that. Oh, no, forget that. Sorry, I shouldn't swear. So this is my thinking. So this is my thinking. So I'm thinking of turning just this old bit of wood, adding some hooks on it. Just to kind of add a bit of a nice modern sort of look with a bit of an old school finish on it. So what I'm going to do is, because I don't want to lose too much of the character, so I'm going to sand it at quite a high grit. We'll try the sanding boxes first. If that doesn't shift enough, then we'll go on to the orbital sander. So I don't know whether you can tell, but obviously non-sanded to the new sanded side. Looks a little smoother, just helping to get rid of yeah, the sides and stuff, I probably will come out with a 40 grit. That's beautiful. Okay. I am going to just do a bit of quite a rough sand, so quite a high, like a low grit, should I say, so like 60 grit, just to go along the edges and at the back. Because I would like the back to be really nice and smooth, whereas the front kind of a bit more rusticy. So here's the before. that's that. So here's a little cheeky comparison of a before and after. So obviously, the two different sizes. This is the one I've just sanded. This is the one that I haven't sanded. So this is all nice, and because I thought I wanted to go with the 180 just on the top, and I thought this is the bit that I want to be nice and smooth, because obviously coats and stuff are going to be hung onto it. And this is the bit that I kind of wanted to preserve. Now the bark and stuff I am going to have to get rid of, because this is going to just naturally want to splinter off anyway. So I am going to need to get rid of that. But yeah, this is the bit that I wanted nice and smooth and not really to lose too much of that character. Whereas this bit, I'm fine with. So that's that, and that's that. So that's a before and after of, yeah, how it looks and how it is now. Which I don't think is, I think that's really quite nice. Tell you what, let's try something. This is an experiment. So what I've done now is I've just stuck some 320 grit on, just to kind of get this bit. Okay? So here we have it. We've still got some of the rusticness of the actual pallet. Now I've just gone all the way down to about 300 grit. on both sides just to make it all nice and smooth. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do something that we call a bit of a not a water bath as such, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray some water on it, get it all nice and moist. I know some of you don't like the word. And then what that'll do is it'll draw the grain up. Plus it'll also give us an indication of what colour this will turn out once I put a finish on. So that's the intention of what I'm going to do next. So from start to finish, so that's that. That's the wet board now. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this to one side. We're going to leave this to dry. We'll come back to this a little bit later on to go over with another sanding, and then we'll establish whereabouts we're going to put our hooks, how we're going to orient them, and then that'll be that. So that, yeah, nice and simple. And at some point we'll do this one as well. Just going to leave this to one side to dry. So for those of you who have just joined us, thank you very much for actually coming in and joining us. It's much appreciated. My name is James. We are currently working on today, apart from what you've just seen, we're currently working on a particular little special batch of coasters. Stocking up, ready for Christmas. For the holidays, whichever way you want to play it. That is the plan at the moment. Let's have a nice cold drink. So if you do like this sort of stuff, give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, ding dong the bell so you do not miss when we go live again. It is greatly appreciated from me, and yeah, hopefully you guys like it too. So I will now quickly get ready with the batch of coasters that we need to sort out. So in the last episode, you will have seen, if you were here, that we are working on a batch of pallet wood coasters. So I will show you, yeah. So started life like these, very tiny coasters. No, started life like these. Now we've got a series of blanks, just like these, all glued up, and eventually they'll turn into these. That's the plan. So what we need to do today is, as you will see on the coasters, I've made some marks on them because these are the high points. So we need to get these sanded down so that it's nice and level, so that your drink doesn't fall over when you put your cup down on it. So I need to sand these level. Some of them have got one spot, some of them have got a couple of spots. Actually, I do think that it's that side that needs doing, because the other side's pretty flat. And it doesn't need much doing to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark across the area with a pencil. So once the pencil's removed, we then check again until we're completely flat. That's so let's see if we can get that done. Test one. That'll be fine. Just got these ones to do. Right, I'm going to go down a bit of a limb here. People always ask me, why do you choose pallet wood? Why did you just go to a shop, buy the wood, oak, walnut, and all that stuff? I like it. Don't get me wrong. If I had the chance, I'd use it. However, I go out, I either break pallets up, I bring them home, or people donate them to me. And this is why I work with pallet wood. So I'm going to do an example in a minute. That was all different types of wood that came off of things that were supposed to be either thrown away, scrapped, binned, burnt, thrown out, what have you. All different types of pallet wood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand this now. I'm going to throw the 320 grit sander onto my sander, and then I'm going to spray this with water so you can see when eventually these are finished what the wood is going to turn it looking like, and then that will hopefully explain as to why I use pallets. So stick with me. We're going to use this one as the example, and you can tell me at the end whether you think it was a good idea to work with pallet wood or not a good idea to work with pallet wood. But I've got a feeling I know which way this is going to go. So, I've polished it up, I've sanded it down to about 320 grit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some water on it in a sec, which will help show, like this one, what it should end up finishing up like. Now, this was just made from pallet wood as well. This one's using different varieties of pallet wood. Now, I think this is going to come out nice. So, you let me know in the comments whether you think I should have done it with pallet wood, or should I have used fancy, dry-aged, 100-year-old oak and still sold them for the price that I sell them. Let me know. I could be wrong. So this gives you an indication of what it should look like once it's finished. So what do you reckon? Should I stick with pallet wood? What do you think? Give us a thumbs up if you agree that I should stick with pallet wood. Let me grab my coffee. Do you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the live here at this point, and I'm going to try and live stream somewhere else. I'm going to give it a try, see what happens. But thank you very much for joining. It's been a pleasure, as always. Thank you. I am going to keep up with the grind with the coasters, and I will keep you also updated with what we turned the other piece of this into. If you were joining us at the beginning of the live stream, make sure you do subscribe, give us a follow on all other social media accounts you find us on. We are Lockdown Lumber. You will find us here, Instagram, TikTok, and a few other places that I can't quite remember. We do make things out of pallet wood. We do turn scrap into fabulous things. So if you do enjoy us, give us a subscribe, take the bell, and I look forward to speaking to you very soon. Thank you very much. Ta-ra.